All right, you guys. Oh, hold on there. We got to mute that. All right, little struggle getting on here tonight. So if you are on, please say hello. And can you see me and hear me? Or is my mouth moving and nothing's coming out? Because I think I'm on. It looks good. I'm gonna go with it. I will keep my eyes on the comments and hopefully a little more in tune than the last time when I wasn't talking. So I'm Jill Blanchette. Thank you for joining me tonight on my Wednesday night live. Tonight, oh, I was going to bring over my catalog to show you guys. Oh, good. Hey, Christy, thanks. I was going to bring my catalog over to show you guys. I'm going to use the Regal Flora set. I'm going to get it. Hang on. I was just talking to my mom, so I'm not prepared. I'm blaming her. Where's my catalog? Here it is. I moved everything around. I'm cleaning up to get ready for class on Sunday. Um, then I was talking to mom. I'm like, oh, I got plenty of time, plenty of time. No, not really. Okay. So I got my catalog. We're gonna make a card with the Regal Flora set tonight. And then I made a second version of it using the Latte Love out of the online exclusives. And I'm thinking I'll go over all that another time. So I'm going to turn my camera down, and you guys probably know. Thanks, Christy. You guys, hey, Debbie. You guys probably know by now all about the specials going on and the sign up special. Love, love, love to build my team. So, anybody who would like to sign up under me, I would be more than happy to have you on my team. Kits are on sale for a couple more weeks as well. The sign-up special is $155 a product for the $99. And oh, we started what, a 30% off sale of the remaining Close to My Heart branded products. But have no fear, I did find out that the protector pages and things like that, Stampin' Up is coming out with Stampin' Up branded. They call them flip flaps and page protectors and stuff. So the ones that are on sale are the Close to My Heart, but Stampin' Up, they're not going away. Stampin' Up will be coming out with some. So I think, let's see. I want to just make sure before I keep rambling that you can, yep, you're seeing my desktop. So this is the suite for the Regal of the stamp set. The suite is called Regal Winter. I'm going to use the Regal Flora stamp set. And first little thing to show you guys, this die here looks like, oh, it tells you if you look, one die cuts out multiple images. So I just want to show you that from this die set. You get this one die, but it makes the small inside one solid, and then you get the outside one as the frame. And I thought that that was pretty cool. Takes out the guessing for my class. I have a couple cards that have like the frame. I use the frame, and so you got to nest two dies together and hope you got them spaced right, and it's just crazy. But this is the beautiful paper that it goes with. So I wanted to show you guys that. There was some, I'm not using the ribbon. What ribbon is it? Blackberry Bliss and Gold. Ooh, I did use it on something else, but, and I'll show you this. And then these little gems are super cute. We will be using a couple of those, but here's the paper. Still not, up close. And hey, Patty, Kathy, thanks for joining us. And Sherry Large is on too. Thanks for joining, Sherry. So this paper is so much better in person than probably even, this got to be better than looking at it in the catalog. But you got this wild wheat on the back of that one. But these, I had no idea how pretty that was going to be. Let's see. We've got a full-on color pattern with navy on the back. I got all my little pieces that I was using. So then we've got this navy with a splash of the purples in it. And then just a solid like Blackberry Bliss on the back. And that just so pretty, guys. Then we got a peacock on the back. We got a peacock plaid. And then there's a second color flowers. These I think are bigger than the other one. And then there's a pretty gold one. Let me see. This is on the back of that second colored piece. And then we've got pretty peacock plaid on the back of the gold piece. And so it's just, oh, so yummy. I love it, love it, love it. And I thought that I wanted to break out something new that I haven't used yet, and not have it be Christmas, because I did get a bunch of Christmas stuff for my Christmas card buffet that I'm going to be doing coming up. That's once my weekend is done. Well, after tonight, I got one more card to cut for the weekend, and then I'm working on my video or my email for my Christmas card buffet. This paper is also part of that suite. And this is called, I was going to use this on my card and then I forgot, Regal Distressed Patterns. So they are just single-sided, but you got a gold plaid. And I guess if it looks fuzzy on the screen, that's because, oh, hey, Marilyn. It is distressed. So I don't know if I can hold it still so that if it looks like it's all wonky and yuck on the screen, it's because these lines are not complete. It's just as the description says. Oh, here's a better version of it. There's a red piece and it's just, they're calling it distressed. So like here, this line's missing, there's some lines missing. So it's just really, it's another cool pack. And you get 2 pieces of each of these in there, and they're only single-sided. And this is a gold foil on the peacock. So pretty. But as I was making my card, I totally got sidetracked with what I was doing, what products I wanted to use, and making my measurements right. So here's my prototype. And it's called like, I've seen it a nested gatefold, or somebody called it that. Somebody was calling it an double accordion gatefold. I saw a guy, Jay, called it a winged gatefold. So this is my prototype. So it's very thick because my insides have like 3 layers because I kept switching up the papers that I was using. And you know, our green glue, the liquid glue, there's not really any removing it once you put it down, but you grab the 2 little things and it opens like this. So this be here makes it a gatefold. And then these added little pieces onto it give it the wings or the accordion or the nested. But if you are not like into all this, because it's a little extra here, you can follow the directions for this gatefold part and then just make one of these and glue it to the front. So I'll hopefully remember to describe that again later, but you would just take one of these little panels and glue it over here like this, and then this would shut down and you could put just a white inside. I probably, had I been thinking ahead of time, I'd have made one like that just to show you the simple gatefold, but I was too busy making this to think about that. So anyway, These I've got a bunch of layers on, so there it's really making it thick and extra not going to lay flat. I don't know that it's ever going to lay flat anyway, but it would lay flatter than what we got going here. So I'm going to show you. Let's see, where did I see this? A girl on my Song of the Heart. Last night we had a celebration for Lynn Dunn's $1 million achievement. And when I was on there waiting for it to begin, I was poking around, and her Christina Baldwin, I think was her name. She posted a version of this, and I believe she didn't tell us what it was called or anything. She said she would show it to us on one of Lissa's meetings if Lissa needed a demonstration. So I went digging for it, but hers went this way. So hold on a second. Okay, I'm going to put it this way. So hers went this way and opened like this. And then she had it. I'm gonna say she had to have propped it up, because there's no way, unless she has a completely different fold, that this is gonna stand up. You're gonna need a little kickstand or something behind it. But hers was really cute with, she used the truck on the front. So she just kind of did the same thing, but opened it this way. So that's also an idea for you, for your recipient. Just remember, if you've got patterns, that you'll want to go this way with your words and your patterns versus this way. So I'm going to get started and show you guys what I got going here. So that's what I was telling you. She posted this card. I went searching for it. I found this measurements from Robin Armbruster. I'm going to say Armbrecht is her name, I believe. Really Robin Stamps, I believe is her name. Her tag Facebook kind of blog names. Then she got this card from somebody who gave her a link to that lady's name I couldn't pronounce, so I didn't know how to write it. I want to say it was like Divana, but don't quote me on that. Who then said she got it from, of all people, Lisa Curcio. So you can either look for other alternates via Robin, because Robin had some gorgeous samples. I highly recommend looking at Robin's. Or Lisa might have a good way to find the video. Robin has a video. She has all the directions as well. But hopefully you won't need them. I hopefully will explain it good enough. So let's get started. She is using one piece of regular paper for hers. And I forgot my measurement. I jotted all the measurements down on a piece of paper that I told myself not to forget, and I did. So she's using one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, and we're going to cut a hunk off at 3 inches. And then I'm going to move my card out of the way. We need our arm out. We want this one to be 10 5/8 long, which is 2 little ticker marks past half, or yeah, 2 little ticker marks past half. We're just going to stick with it right there. So we're just barely cutting anything off. Just a little smidgy, like that much. Throw it away. Okay, so we're just going to work with this piece first. I'm not going to try and jump back and forth. So you want to now score this on each end. We'll do this once and then we're going to flip it. So we're going to do 2 1/8 inches, and don't push too hard, and 4 1/4 inches. Just give it a score, but don't go too hard. Turn it around and do it again at 2 1/8, because you're going to and 4 1/4. You're going to fold these up, and if it's not just quite in the right spot, you might need to finagle a little bit. And once you've got a really good score line in there, it's hard to make another one super close to it. So this one is done now. Oh, wait. Then she said you want to make a mark so that you can line them up. When you go to lay this in here, we'll want to line them up. And I forgot to erase my pencil mark. So just get your pencil. Not with this stupid eraser. Now I got an eraser mark on it. And you'll put one on each of these pieces. So we're going to go with this little hunk here, we know is 2 1/4 inches. So we want to make a mark on our paper at 1 1/16. That should pretty much be the center. So a 16th, we hate those, but that's one little ticker mark past 1 inch. Let me get my other ruler just to make sure. Yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, then we have this second piece. This should be 5 1/2 inches wide, and we want it 9 1/2 inches long. So we're going to cut that out. That's scrap paper. You can save that for something else. And now we're going to do some scoring again. And we're going to do a 1/2 inch on each end. And 2 5/8. So we're going to come down here. I'm going to do 1/2 inch again. Doesn't 2 5/8. 2 little ticker marks past half. Turn it around and 2 5/8 again. All right, now we need to cut off, and I can recommend that maybe you do this when you're making the score line on this 1/2 inch. Might just be easier for you, because we're going to come back over here and we're going to cut down and up 1 1/4 inches. So it might be, let me show you. If you just would have went, okay, we're at 5 1/2, so we want to go to 4 1/4. Then we want to go up to the top and come to 1 1/4. And then we want to score. So that might have been the easier way to do it, to ensure that you are on the same line, if that makes sense. We're going to go to this side now and do the same thing. Okay, so either way, you can cut. So I'm going to like score it. And then I'm going to bring my blade in. And we're going to go from 5 1/2 up to 4 1/4. Then we're going to come from 1 to 1 1/4. Okay. I believe we are done with our trimmer. So now where we've cut these, we're going to cut them completely off. And the reason that I'm telling you to try and score and cut at the same time is so that you're on the same line. One sample that I started to make, I was a little bit off the line. So when I folded it up for the gatefold, like they didn't touch, they were too small. So then when I went to put all my pieces and stuff on, they weren't the right size either. So I started over. I threw that one into the recycle pile and started over. I got to take this army thing off there. So now you see what's happening? So here's our gatefold. Now, again, I'm going to put that. We're going to fold these over. I'm going to try and fold it in. It looks a little nicer. And you want the 2 edges to touch. I hope you guys could see that okay. I tried to zoom in, but I didn't want to get too zoomy in-y. So we want these two edges to touch. So what I'm doing is kind of putting them there together to touch. And then I'm just gonna like push with my bone folder to get that crease in there. So we've got that. They actually overlap just a smidge, but should be okay. So now we are ready to decorate the inside. I got all my little pieces and parts here, so let me see. This one might be for I got it. Oh no, that's from all my cutting. It just happens to be the right size. So I've got, oh no, that was for some. So I've got my back. Now, again, I'm putting these on white for a little snazzier look, I guess, but it's going to make this thick. So if you don't want it to be too thick, just go with the pattern paper and skip the extra layer, or you're probably going to need some extra postage if you mail it. I did see Robin made some out of designer series paper as well. And she said that those would be thin enough that you could mail. So let's see. I don't think that this patterned paper here has any direction to it, I think. But I'm going to put it this way. I think I like that these flowers look like they're looking correctly. So I'm going to glue that down like that. And so these pieces, this piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And this is a 1/4 or an 1/8 of an inch smaller. So it's 4 by 5 1/4. No, we love our 1/8. And then that's going to glue right on the inside. It's going to be tight inside there as well. So just watch your folds here when you put it in. Just make sure you're leaving enough space for it to move around, or not move around. In my head, I'm thinking I need to move it around. That you've got enough space for it to fold up. And I am going to re-burnish that. Now we're going to do these two sides. And you could do them all with the same pattern paper or not. So let me go over one more time. I'm putting the layer on there. If you're not going to put a layer on there, then write down or look for the measurements just for where my white is. And then that will fill up most of your background. So these two pieces are going to be 2 inches by 5 3/8 inches. And we're going to glue those over here. And I'm putting on top of them the solid purple, Blackberry Bliss. And these are 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And if I think about it, I can go back and put all these measurements when I move it over to YouTube. I'll put all the measurements in the YouTube description. And maybe, I could probably add them to Facebook too, couldn't I, in a comment? So then, again, make sure you're far enough away from your fold, and then just try and get everything even. Glue on the second side. Oh, Patty's on. Hi, Patty. Oh, and Jean's on. I didn't see Linda. Did I see a Linda on? I didn't. So hi, Linda. So we're going to glue this side on. Oh, Patty, you stop. You didn't have to bring up that snow word. No, nobody's got snow here in Michigan yet. Unless they're making it already. It's been cold enough, I suppose. Somebody could be making it, but you stop that. All right. So now we've got our whole inside ready. Patty, you're just getting on. Here's what we're making. A winged gatefold, a double accordion gatefold, a nested gatefold. It's got all kinds of names. All right. I'm going to go ahead and flip it. So here's this. I'm going to flip it over. So now, again, if you've got directional paper, make sure you're going to put your paper on in the correct direction. So now I have the purple ferny, spriggy, floofy paper. And these, again, are the same as the two that we used on the inside. The white is 2 by 5 3/8. And the pattern is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. We're just going to glue those to our outside. If you don't want to use any kind of pattern paper, you could make your own paper by stamping designs on your paper and cutting it up. You could use emboss it, your layer, make just the one layer and emboss it. Real pretty. We got some really neat embossing folders out, so let's see. I think I'm gonna I gotta go that way. This one might be direction. No, I was gonna say it might be directional because that looks like they're pointing up, but then that one goes down. So I like it when we have the pattern that's not always directional so that you can cut it. And to me, it saves on your waste because if you need to make it cut a certain direction so that you can get the pattern how you want it, you might have just hacked off a great big piece that you didn't need to. It was multi-directional. Okay, here's going to be the back, okay? You could put another layer on the back where you put your greeting, stamp a little flower or something on it, put a sentiment and do your writing, and then leave the whole inside to be all decorated. But, okay, we're done with this piece now. We're going to set that aside for a second. I'm going to pull in this piece. So we have all these score lines on here. Yes, Patty, it definitely, with all the layers, would have some weight. So you may choose to leave off the where my white is. And that will bring the weight down a little bit. And then mine, as you could see, I told earlier, it's so bulky because I have like 4 layers of paper on here. As I was switching patterns around, I couldn't peel it off. I didn't want to start over. So I just kept adding the layer to the top. So mine is super duper thick. Hopefully this isn't going to be that bad. But here's where I was telling you not to score too heavily because we want to make this accordion dealio here, but we want it to be able to fold up nicely. So we need it to be like mountain folds. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. Here's my score line. And so it's right at the score. So when we do this next one, we don't want, slow down, Joe. It needs to be able to fold up and not bunch up. So this one, we want to come just a little bit inside the score line. And then I'm going to smush that down. And free, it doesn't really matter which one opens first, which side. It kind of makes sense to have the right side be the one that initiates the pull. So that's what I'm going with. And as many times as I'm turning this, did you guys see the hidden penny under there? And so now I'm going to ask you to tell me which segment of the card the hidden penny is under. Because it's kind of like that, much as I've been twirling it around, it's like that game on you see in the streets of New York, the shell game. Okay, so now you can see, because I've got it closing up all kind of uniform, but this one I had to pull out a little smidgy. You see it kind of sticks out. If that's going to bother you, go ahead and trim it off. But I trimmed my prototype off. Let's see what happens if I push this back so that they all fit. And again, you can turn this, manipulate this however you need to or want to get it to go right. But I trimmed mine off. I will tell you that this one I trimmed off, and it throws off all your pieces. Then you're trimming down all these because you've trimmed this, and now it's not the same size as all the pieces that you just prepped. So I'm gonna try and just leave it. But let's see, can I pull this one back just a little bit? And see what we get. Maybe if I pull it back just a smidge itself, maybe I'll be okay. If not, we're just going to go with it. That looks all right. So now we've got our accordion fold. We need 2 mountain folds, and then they're going to overlap onto each other. Then I've got all my little pieces and parts. So you'll need, if you're going to make it with a white space in the middle for your sentiment, you'll need 5 layers. And these are 2 inches by 2 7/8 inches. And if you're going to skip this, then that's what you want these to be. If you're not going to skip those, these are 2 by 2 7/8, and these are 1 7/8 by 2 3/4. And then you'll need 4 pattern papers if you're going to put a sentiment in the middle. Otherwise, you do whatever you want to do for your middle one. You want to make it a focal piece. If you want to make it another pattern, I'm going to go ahead and glue my patterns to the inside ones. 2 inside. And make sure, did I just tell you guys that these were 1 7/8 by 2 3/4? Whoops, I got that one on there. Yes, I like the white underneath. I miss what you guys were talking about. Linda's talking about the Tennessee. Linda, you're from South Carolina, if I remember correctly. Okay. And then I'm going to put the solid purple ones. I wanted to use the back of this with the this flower here, this purple one. It's so realistic with that gold, a little bit of gold in the center of it. It's so pretty. Looks like it's got the light shining on it. All right, so then we're going to glue these two to the outside. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Linda came pretty far for our retreat in Ohio. I definitely couldn't whine about my 2.25-hour drive for the trek that some of these ladies made to be with us. And I had Patty to talk to the whole way, so. All right, so now I'm going to just glue this plain white into the center. I can save it. Couldn't figure out what I wanted to stamp on it, so I'll just glue it down as white. So now we've got that piece all squared away. Let's set that aside. Now we're ready to do our, I'm going to call it the front. See, we're going to do the front, but it's also going to be part of the inside. It'll just be off, but when we close it, it can be the front. And as I said, you can have either side be the front. Makes no difference. So I got my plain white piece here. We're using the Regal Flora. And this is in the mini catalog. And it's one of those stamps that I'm thinking is for our like international people that maybe aren't doing winter and such right now. That it's I'm gonna call it more of a generic kind of stamp set. It doesn't have any holiday or seasonal wintry kind of statements in it. So not everybody is having winter right now. All right, so I used the triple flowers and I used fresh freesia. I thought about using Highland Heather. I just didn't. I didn't know if it would be too dark, so I didn't grab that one. And you know what? I'm gonna have to cut these out. So let's see. I'm gonna trim this. I'm gonna use my little machine. And it is not quite that big. So then I got my pretty peacock. And I stamped this sprig. And they're still juicy. A month later, they're still juicier than I'll get out. I was hoping that it would have soaked into the spongy stuff by now, but not so lucky. Oh, you know what? Okay, I need another piece for this panel over here. So we got to go down. I went down a quarter on this one. So those little pieces, what did I tell you? 1 7/8. Nope, they were, yes, 1 7/8 by 2 3/4. So I want to go, that was the purple. So I want to go, I'm going to go 3 little tickers. I'm going to go 1 3/4. So then we've got 2 3/4. And then I'm going to go 3 little tickers. Because I really want some of that purple to show, to stick out a little bit more. So I went down, which does not look like I did, but I did go down a little bit more on that one. So I'm going to bring my note card in here. and I'm going to get this Fernie spray stuff and these leaves next. I'm going to use this one with shaded spruce. And I just want to fill up this paper, so to speak, with my leaves. That one's really juicy and gross. And I didn't bring over my stamp cleaner. So this, we're going to just leave there for a second. We want to cut these out. So we've got 2 plates, our top plate. And the sprigs. So let's see. We're going to put the 3-leaf on. Or not the 3-leaf, it's 3 flowers. Put that on there. Then I've got that sprig. And I'm going to try, I heard somebody say once that these little dots, if you like line the stem up in those little dots, if you could see the stem, then you're probably in the right spot for it, for cutting it out. And then you just need to kind of move around the rest of the die. But as long as you keep the 2 dots with the color in them, you should hopefully be good. We'll see. I could have just fallen for that and someone's sitting out there laughing that I believed it. But whatever, I think it was one of the stamp sets it worked on when I tried it. It was definitely a good tip on that particular stamp set. Now, whether or not it works on all of them, yeah, that one worked. And there's our leaves, or why do I keep calling them leaves? They're flowers. Stick those in there. So then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to come around this. And I'm just going to whack that leaf off. I'm going to take this and just kind of position it how I think it looks good on there. I think I'm going to go like that. We don't really see a lot of the green underneath, so feel free to, move them out more. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of this stem. And I just want this guy to kind of peek out over here a little bit. Probably could have trimmed that a little bit nicer. You get it though, you see what I'm doing. Then I'm going to take this bigger one, put some more glue on that one. And then I'm just going to tuck that one under over here. Like so. I guess we'll stick it out over there a little bit. And then I'm going to pop it up. Okay. We'll pop it up with my pretend dimensional. My little dimensional wannabes. I have everything over here. I just get going and lose it because I keep all my supplies like that over here so that I've always got them, and look what happens. So now I know this is going to hang off the card a little bit, so I don't want to go too far out with my wannabes. So I'm just going to stick them like a couple right here. That should be good. And then we can just kind of stick it on there. And then we can come in and glue it in place. Here. Then I'm probably getting way ahead of myself, but for the assembly, but I got these dark purple gems. They could be cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to kind of stick them on here. These are the ones that go with this. Sweet. They are called the Regal foiled adhesive back gems. And I'm going to go ahead and make the second side. So where's my white paper? So our second side, I used cherry cobbler for that rose. I'll call it a rose. Little half flower here. I did use the cherry cobbler for that because that was one of the colors. And then I cut this thing out. Oh, let's see. What color did I do that in? I did that in shaded spruce. So since it's still dirty, I might as well make sure I use shaded spruce again. I want to mix up the inks in the stamp pads. We know I did that once already with my re-inkers, so still haven't fixed those. I was going to run them underwater and just see how it worked and kind of film it and show you guys. Has anybody ever done that? Ran a ink pad underwater and completely got all the ink out and then inked it back up and started over? That's what my thought is for my, what did I do? My early espresso and pecan pie are the two that I messed up. All right, so I've got my flower and my little sprig down, and I'm trying that same trick with the edge through the dot. Hopefully I didn't move my flower when I did that. Way. Oh, pretty good. Okay. So now I'm going to put this piece on, well, actually all these pieces here, I'm putting on flat because it's going to be inside of the card here. So I don't want too much in the way of height for it to be able to close. This one, I could use the dimensionals and the little gems because it's on the outside. So I got to be a little bit mindful there. Let's see. I'm going to just kind of stick my flower on there. I know this isn't really how it's supposed to look, but it works for me. Okay. Then I got my Sending Love Your Way. Let's see what I got for scrap paper over here. They're all pretty much the same. So I need my long block and my Blackberry Bliss. Sending Love Your Way. I think I used every juicy, like already very dark color that I have in my color scheme over there. These are. And then I'm just going to kind of fussy cut around just some hoopty-doos and gotta cut that off. It's too getting in my way. Cut around. And when it's all straight like that, sending, I still try and like twirl my wrist a little bit just to give it a little extra. So it doesn't look too strategically straight. Then I'm going to put a little glue on this guy. The Sending Love. I'm going to move it down just because it's off the top of the card. I'm put my flower up higher this time. And then we got Your Way. That. See if we can take that sharpness off there from where we cut that other one off. Put a little glue on there. Sending Love Your Way. All right, now we are ready to glue this on. And so, did I make that? Oh, I didn't make the markup here. So this one, we're going to end up at 2 1/8. So go across the center panel and just kind of 2 1/8. Then we're going to take this accordion fold. You guys, I got my dirty fingers or my gluey fingers on here and messing up my beauteous card with some Blackberry Bliss something or another. That's not coming off, so I'm not going to scrub on it. So we've got our dot here and our dot here. We could take our ruler, I guess, if you're good that way. You could use your glass mat, your grid paper. So we'll put that across the bottom. We'll put our dot right there. Then we're going to take this dot and that dot, they're lined up now. And this flapper thing here is 3 inches, which is the width that we have left of the piece that we cut off. So I'm just going to drag this down. Try and keep it pretty lined up if I can. You know, it's always lined up if you move the ruler correctly. Incorrectly. Okay. So that looks like I got it sort of pretty okay. Maybe I got to go a little more that way. So then just kind of, oops, see, I'm sticking out down here. So you may need to trim those if they're not quite 3. That's okay too. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 4 full, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines and a little bit more. We got 1, 2, 4. 1, 2. So I'm pretty good. I'm going to move it just a smidge. Okay. So now I'm going to call that lined up. It looks pretty straight. If I quit moving, you guys ever get where you're putting so much pressure on it because you want to hold it in place that you just really make a mess of it? I'm sliding everything else all around. I'm nervous. Okay. So we've got that in place where we want it, right? We're going to lift it up. And we're just going to glue this centerpiece and lay it back down. Give it a hot second or two to dry. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for hopping on. All right. Now these flappers on the side, we're going to fold those. Give them a score. Now you can either leave it flat like that. Oh, and see, I've moved it because I got a little bit sticking out down there, but that's all right. We'll fix it. You can fold it up and fold it back. You can do pretty much anything you want with it. You could fold it back and glue it. It's all going to kind of work the same. But what I'm going to do, because my couple of little prototypes, I found it easiest to cut that off. To make sure that it was going to give it that little bit of the extra that it needed, the collapsibility kind of thing. Originally, I had gone like this and closed it down and glued it like here, put the glue and glued it. But when I closed it, it wanted to give a little bit. So I ended up closing it down and then gluing on there. So let me show you. I'm going to put the glue on here. And then I'm just going to close this piece down on top of it. And I'm going to let it dry for a little tiny smidge of a second. My glue dries pretty fast. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to fold it back. Put some glue on it. And then I'm going to close that piece down on top of it. And now it should have all of the movement space that it needs. And that's it. Like I said, it's probably not going to want to stay down because it is pretty thick. So leaving off that extra white layer, probably, not a bad idea. And then when they open it, they can pull it out like that and display it. Put the white piece on the back if you wanted, or another designer paper. But if you put the white on the back, then you can write on it and stuff. And now you could see too my papers, because they match, you can't see it. So if you didn't have matching, you might want to fold this flap so that it tucks in, and then you won't see it. But there you go, guys. That's our card for today. Let's go back over to my beautiful face. And oh no, we're gonna go back down. Stop, hold on. Stop, back up. Okay. We should be back on my desktop now. Did not go. Did it go yet? Yep, there we go. Okay. I wanted to show you my other card that I made. This one, I did not use all the layers on, but you could still see that it doesn't want to close. So again, if you want to rework the math, leave a little bit wider space. Maybe if your paper's a little bit longer, you could use a little bit wider in there for this when this needs to come down so that it lays a little flatter. But this is my second one that I did. It was just with the latte paper and stamp set. Oh, and I did use the Friends with Coffee stamp set for all my greetings. And I thought that that one turned out kind of cute. I got that thread that everybody loves to use so much on the back of there. Little steam. I've never used the steam on here, so I don't know if that looks cute on there or not. If I did it right. Couldn't figure out how to put the steam on, of all things. But there you go. Now that's what we got. So we got 2 cards to show you tonight. Now I can go back and say goodnight. All right. Okay. That's it now. Now I could say goodnight to everybody. I appreciate you watching, commenting, sharing, telling all your friends. My newsletter did get out today. So if you know anybody that might be interested in getting my newsletter, please pass along the information. They can go to greenthumbstampers.com, and then there's right on the right, if you're on your computer, or there's a tab for join my newsletter, get my newsletter, something like that. And that's it. I will see you guys again. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night, everybody.